Okay, hi, my name is Vidashi. Welcome to the African Time. Let's discuss Africa, shall we? Recently shared saying top African countries by nominal GDP, that is in billion USD. Well, we are going to discuss Africa's nominal GDP, and then they have to see how each African countries are actually doing and how we can actually get to know the African economy and which countries are doing better and who or which countries also needs to top up their work. Okay. All right. So see this. Well, number one on the list is South Africa. South Africa has a nominal GDP of $373 billion. And number two is Egypt. Egypt have a nominal GDP of $347.6 billion. And number three is Nigeria with $347 billion. And number four is Algeria, $266.8 billion. And number five is Morocco, $152 billion. And number six is Kenya, $104 billion. And number seven is Angola, $92 billion. And number eight is Cote d'Ivoire, $86 billion. And number nine is Tanzania, $79 billion. And at number 10, we have Ghana, $75 billion. And the source to this information is from the IMF. Hi, how are you guys feeling? We are discussing Africa's GDP, that nominal GDP, and then we have gotten to know the top 10 countries in Africa that have the highest in Africa. Well, starting from South Africa to Egypt, to Nigeria, to Algeria, Morocco, Kenya, Angola, Cote d'Ivoire, Tanzania, and then lastly, at number 10, we have Ghana here. Well, based on the top three, we all know the top three or the largest economies in Africa. That is South Africa, Nigeria, and then Egypt. Well, these three countries here, we all know we should actually compare them with the population though. South Africa leading here have a population of about 60 million people. Second place, Egypt have a population of around 100 million people. And then third place, country Nigeria has a population around 20 million people. So based on the population size, you can actually get to know how great between these three largest economies in Africa are doing. Okay. Well, I want to ask, what is a nominal GDP? What does that even mean? Well, this is what it says. This one says nominal GDP represents the total market value of all final goods and services produced within a country during a specific period. It says that what's the current prices? So it says the key characteristics of a nominal GDP is that it uses the price of goods and services prevailing in the year and the output produced. So it says no inflation adjustment. So unlike real GDP, which adjusts for inflation, nominal GDP does not account for changes in the purchasing power or money over time. So example to this is that if a country produces 100 units of a good in a year at a price of $1 each, in a year two it's produced the same 100 units by the price of $2 each due to inflation. The nominal GDP in the year two will be 200, reflecting the higher price even though the quantity of goods produced remain the same. Okay, so basically the nominal GDP is a total value of all goods and services produced in a given time or period less than the value of those made during the production process. Okay, so that is something concerning the nominal GDP. Okay, guess you have get to understand this. It's just the nominal GDP is just a calculation of all the products or goods that were produced in a specific time, though. Yeah, that is. But actually, it doesn't actually talks about the most value of the product. But hey, it's actually good to know concerning your country. But when this was shared, well, some Africans saw this to be, why should we even discuss the nominal GDP? Because that doesn't make sense. What you need is a PPP, that is GDP per purchasing power parity, or the GDP per capital. That is the great one. But the nominal GDP is just as useless. That's what some African thinks. Well, do you also think like that? Let me know in the comment section though. But for me, I believe that every little key or every little findings about Africa is important and we need to check it out. Okay, well, these are some of the comments that people actually were saying. Well, this one says nominal is a very useless index to measure GDP. It does not show the reality of economy. It shows only FS GDP. Well, that's what he says. Well, lastly, this one says nominal is useless. It doesn't measure the quantity of goods and services being produced. PPP accounts for that. That is why China is the biggest in PPP, because it's the world's largest producer, marketer, importer, exporter, and lender. Well, that is how some Africans believe. So they believe that this is just a useless thing to know. But I believe that we need to know all these things for a long future and a long plan for the continent. Okay. Well, I don't know about you. What's your take concerning this? I'm not actually here to, or today I'm not going to discuss how a lot of Africans thought about this, because mostly they all believe it to be useless. But hey, here I am talking about it. Is that so useless? Well, to you, let me know what you think. But if you actually want to know the one that is useful for you, well, don't forget this. I have already shared the content concerning the Africa GDP PPP, that is African GDP purchasing power parity. If that one is the most useful for you, you can also check it out. My page is actually there. Recently, I shared it. But for now, we are talking about the nominal GDP of Africa. I don't know how useless it is. Everything concerning Africa is dear to my heart. Okay, my name is Vidashi. This is African Time. Grateful for you. See you guys around.